We're back. Texas's very own Dr. Opal Lee is a living example of Black leadership, courage, and determination. Recently, the grandmother of Juneteenth received a special gift. Habitat for Humanity is giving her a new home in Fort Worth in the same plot of land where she lived more than 80 years ago. Ms. Lee was only 12 when her family was forced to flee from it in 1939 as a racist mob set it on fire. The grandmother of Juneteenth shares her excitement about this new build with In Focus Texas.
I am so happy. They are building a house for me that's going to be available June the 19th, 2025. And I tell you, where I live now, all I'm taking from there is my toothbrush.
Not only is the 97-year-old a driving force in having Juneteenth recognized as a national holiday, her activist spirit ignited decades ago in our Texas schools, where Dr. Lee spent decades as a teacher and counselor. Today, she still visits our school communities. I had the privilege of spending the day with her at a school in Fort Worth, where Dr. Lee shared why she remains committed to empowering Texans of all ages to create change.
I'm wondering what you think that we can do as upper school teachers to make kids more aware of the history of Texas.
If people have been taught to hate, they can be taught to love.
Surrounded by teachers and students at a North Texas school, Dr. Opal Lee, the grandmother of Juneteenth, is planting seeds of wisdom this Black History Month.
We don't have guns, but these kids got sharp minds. And they can make things a heck of a lot better for the rest of us.
The 97 years young, proud Texan is also taking a moment to expand her message of progress on Spectrum News' In Focus Texas. You have made and witnessed history on several occasions. What memories do classrooms like this ones bring to you?
The youngsters in my classroom were children from a neighborhood where sometimes they'd come to school hungry. Well, they didn't have proper clothing or shoes, but they were learners. And I felt it was up to me that they had the proper clothing and shoes, and a place to stay. And I worked at that.
You were a teacher in times of segregation, but you also experienced integrated schools. How have you seen our schools here in Texas evolve?
There's still disparities, and I hope we can work them out, and I'm sure we can. That's gonna mean that families in my community are going to have jobs or careers that are gonna pay enough for us to have decent housing, and that we have enough to have food on the table.
What advice would you give when a young ethnic or diverse student has questions?
Equally, this school community seek Dr. Lee's guidance on complex topics.
What advice would you give to them to help with our young ones?
They can't just slough it off. They've got to make the youngsters understand that somebody else knows how they feel and somebody else wants to help. They've got to be able to teach the children that there are adversities, but they're not supposed to last forever.
Tell me more about your message for the teachers. What do you want them to know about the impact that educators can make on our Texas students' lives?
They have to notice which child is coming to school without food. They have to notice and be able to tell them how to get it, where to get it from.
What about the students? We saw you surrounded by students today.
Squeeze in, squeeze in.
What do you hope for their future?
Oh, for the very best, I do hope. And for the older children, I'm already saying to them, it's your responsibility to change our world for the better. And so I say to them, this is your world, and you are the ones to change it so that we are all on an equal footing. Make yourself a committee of one to change somebody's mind. They know people who aren't on the same page they are on, and they are the ones to change their minds. I want to see it in my lifetime, so get busy. Thank you, young people.
And that'll do it for this week's In Focus Texas. I'm Carla Leal. Thanks for joining us to celebrate Black History Month. And remember, you too can make a difference. See you next time.